So here's something interesting today. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to be getting a new stadium? Question marks? Question marks? That's the talk of the town right now. Is that will Cincinnati get a new stadium? Because according to the Hamilton County Commissioners, gave an update on a possible renovation that could be coming to Paycor Stadium during their meeting Tuesday afternoon. Hamilton County taxpayers fund Paycor and the Bengals lease it from the county. That lease is set to expire in 2026. So as the county commissioners prepare for negotiations, they are also in early stages of preparing renovation plans. The county and the Bengals hired an outside firm, Gessler Sports, for capital assessment in May 2022. Gessler Sports said basic repairs to the Paycor Stadium would cost more than $493 million. That includes fixing steel railings and ramps, replacing seats, and upgrading electric and plumbing systems. That number does not include potentially $200 million more for future upgrades like luxury lounges, high-end food or drink, new signs and scoreboards. WC obtained an early version of the master plan last summer, which had ideas like standing rooms, orney decks, and drink rails, field goal and end zone cameras, changes to seating. So if they did all the upgrades they need to do, it's around $693 million. This is why there's potentially talking about the fact they could just build a brand new stadium. Okay, that makes sense. Within 6 years, you will been eclipsed by every other NFL stadium, and fans are not going to enjoy the experience, said Tom, project counsel for Hamilton County. Commissioners discussed their hopes to increase the use of the stadium for non-NFL events like concerts and integrate the stadium with the banks in downtown and more. This is actually something a lot of stadiums do. You have stadiums that will actually host like monster truck rallies. You have soccer events. You have concerts, like they said, and a bunch of stuff that really helps pay, off the stadium and all the repairs. Because let's be honest, $693 million of upgrades, and as they said, which is true, in a couple years, that's going to be nothing. I mean, you have stadiums. Arizona just built their stadium. What was that, $3 billion? So you have a lot of stadiums that are just being built. They cost $3 billion and they have all the latest and greatest stuff. So even if you take a stadium right now and you slowly upgrade it, it's eventually going to become obsolete. We have assets that cost us 365 days. We've got to have events happening as many days as possible, said Hamilton County Commissioner President Reese. Tom said that he hopes for the stadium to become a vibrant of the community. It is not an island of itself to only be used on game day. Building a new stadium isn't completely out of the question for the commissioners either. They asked Tuesday for the master plan to include options for a new stadium as well as for renovations to the current stadium so the county can see the cost for both options. So pretty much what we're going to say is like, listen, at the end of the day, right now this is going to cost us $693 million, right? But over time, as we upgrade more, this is what it's going to cost us 10, 15 years down the road. Is it better to get it now and, get all those renovations now and try to spend all that money? Or could we do better by just building a brand new stadium, right? Have a completely all renovated. It's going to look perfect. It's going to look amazing. We're going to spend $2 or $3 billion, but at least we have everything that's up to date and everything perfect. And 10, 15 years down the line, this new stadium's going to already still be, kind of the norm in the NFL, rather than it being like, an eyesore to go to a stadium that is older and slowly trying to be upgraded, right? So it does make sense why a lot of teams actually do build new stadiums for this exact same reason, that it's not even worth it at the end of the day. During the NFL annual meetings, Bengals Executive Vice President Katie Blackburn said the team is planning to do some improvements themselves so that we're willing to invest a little bit more of our own here. She also did come out and say that she does not believe the turf/field is a problem. I know I saw Tom Boyd and a couple other people in the comment section talk about this. It is a question that I feel like unless the NFL comes out and officially says, listen, every single team must have real grass. That's it. No question. We don't want to hear it. It is what it is. I mean, because at the end of the day, you can make speculations that, well, there's injuries here on turf. There's injuries here on real grass. It's an age-old discussion when it comes to sports. At the end of the day, unless the NFL comes out and says something, Cincinnati's going to stay with the turf situation. And I think Tom Boyd actually brought up a really good point. As always, we love Tom on this channel. He brought up a good point when he said that Cincinnati tried real grass a couple years ago, and it failed. Failed awfully. So that's why they're kind of in that new turf in the turf situation, because they tried it. Now, I will bring up one last point about this, because I know some people brought this up down below, about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was awful, apparently. Well, wasn't apparently. The Super Bowl was awful, right? The grass was awful. It's real grass. The reason why that was awful was because of the fact, first off, Arizona does, what they do with their grass is kind of crazy, but they actually, they wheel the grass in on wheels, okay? So it's not like it's just, the grass is there. They wheel it in, and they actually have it out in the sun, and they bathe it, and they do this whole entire process. Well, even the Sodfather, the guy who runs this whole operation, has been for the last 70, 80 years. He even mentioned that the grass, the problem with it wasn't really the fact of, first off, the grass. It was, number one, it was overwatered, way overwatered. I don't know who did it. He claims that it was a mistake by somebody, but they almost flooded that field. And then after it, and if you, let's go outside right now, right? And take 17 gallons of water and dump it in your backyard. Your backyard's going to be flooded. Flooded. Because what the thing that's good about turf is turf has little inlets at the bottom of it, right? And turf can actually have drainage systems plugged into it. So when the water goes down, it can actually drain out. That wasn't really the case with the grass. And then he did also say the problem really happened was the second half. Because it was already wet, right? And already like a little slippery. Well, when they had all that equipment at halftime, the halftime show, on the grass, it actually caused the grass to get even more slippery. Because it was all the equipment pushing down. So the water, because it has no place to go, because it's actual grass, literally just got pushed into the soil and made the soil almost like an ice skating rink. So that wasn't really because of the grass problem. That was because, and I'm going to be honest, there were some idiots there. Some idiots working on the Super Bowl cast did not know what they were doing, according to the Sodfather. Again, this is coming from the Sodfather, not myself. From the Sodfather, there was some mess-ups. Huge mess-ups. So it wasn't really because it was grass the problem. It was more or less because of the fact that they didn't know what they were doing. And this is not new for the NFL. Anyway, so continuing this, I think we have a great So I think we have a great stadium. Our stadium has been a great asset to the area, and we think we can keep it up to a certain level. It can serve us for a while longer. Blackburn said, a new stadium is a big project, and more power to Tennessee and New York for going in that direction. But we feel like our stadium has been a great asset and can be useful for a while. The commissioners are wanting Gensler Sports to get the master plan to them before December. That plan can help them decision making. Also help them with decision making. So listen, at the end of the day, I don't think you guys need a new stadium. I don't think the Bengals need to build a whole new stadium. I think honestly, I like the plan I saw before. You're gonna move the concrete factory out of Riverside, right? and you're going to increase the parking area, you're going to increase the tailgate area, and you're going to make that better. Now, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, yes, when you go to a stadium, you want certain things to happen. But Paycor Stadium, I've been there before. And I've been there, and I've also been to the freaking crap show they call the Commander Stadium. And the Commander Stadium is actually a stadium that needs to be fixed, okay? They actually had a water pipe broke and rained sewer water all over fans, okay? That stadium is the worst stadium I've ever been to. Paycor Stadium is not a problem, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's not a problem. Now, no, it's not Arizona. It's not the MetLife Stadium. It's not the Jerry's World, okay? But at the end of the day, and it's not obviously the Vikings' new stadium. I know they used to call it the Metrodome. I forget what they call it now. It's not those stadiums, okay? That's a fact. That's a simple fact you can look at. But it's a pretty good stadium. I had no problem with it. I've been there, like I said, one time, and I have no problem with it at all. But anyway, though, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I think Cincinnati, you guys have probably figured something out, whether it is build a new stadium or do something. I'll see you guys in the next one.